what to do. Everybody up? And we don't get started without our energy ritual here. So make believe you're born a champion. Turn to your neighbor and say, born a champion. I was born a champion. Woohoo! All right, give yourself a round of applause. That was good. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. I am Dr. Yachter. If we have not met, have we met? You look familiar. No? Never?
Never.
What's your name?
Susan.
Susan. You have almost as good a handshake as Peggy. Yeah. There's firmness there. What's your name?
Marilyn.
Hi, Marilyn. So nice to meet you. Is anybody else here? I can't shake your hand. Thank you for being here. Some of you I haven't seen in a while. I want to welcome back Edna and Luther, our regulars for many, many years. Everybody give them a round of applause. Yes. Prodigal family members coming home, returning home. It's so nice to have you guys. Thank you for joining us. So we're going to be talking about diabetes tonight, but really the subject encompasses so much more. Can you guys hear me tomorrow? Maybe if you give me a little bit of volume there. We want to make sure all the people who are joining us on Facebook can hear us. Okay. Is that a little bit better? Maybe a little bit more? A little bit more. Okay. All right, so tonight we have diabetes reversal and blood sugar control, and what you're going to learn is that diabetes is one of those things that pretty much affects everything. So I'm glad you guys are here because there are benefits that are going to range pretty much from top to bottom and sideways with every aspect of your health, more than you can imagine. So I promise you, you're not going to leave here without your wheelbarrow full. And so we do these workshops every month. Raise your hand if you've been to a workshop before. Awesome. Keep your hand up if you've been to 2 or more, 3 or more workshops, 5 or more, 10 or more workshops, 20 or more, 30 or more workshops, 50 or more, 60. I know we got a couple of 100 plus clubs. Good. Everybody give them a round of applause. Okay. And I want to recognize that because there's wisdom there. When you stop learning, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start what? Dying. Start dying. So everybody's here because we want to learn and grow, and you're always going to get something new by coming to a workshop. Many of you here, you've been to diabetes workshops before, but tonight you're going to get something new. You're always going to learn and grow. Next month, we have our Holiday Health and Stress Survival Workshop. Why? Holidays are the best of times, but they're pretty much the worst for your health. You know, all the things that destroy our health. Just stress, toxins, mental stress, physical stress. There's more heart attacks, there's more hospital admissions during the holidays than any other time of the year. Did you know that? Yeah. Okay, so the workshop that we have is designed to target that and help lower your risk of health issues and make sure you stay healthy through the holidays. So mark that on your calendar. You might have a flyer in your handout, but nonetheless, if you have one of these workshop cards, you'll be able to track with that and make sure you stay on our calendar with us. Just a couple of quick things to remind everybody. If you have a cell phone, please turn it on vibrate or turn it off. One or the other, please make sure that we want to make sure this so as to not disrupt our friends and family members, make sure everybody stays focused on what we're doing here. And also bathroom breaks. Unless it's an absolute emergency, please try to stay seated. Do not put your arms out the windows and feed the animals. Just try to stay in one place if not possible. If those of you who are teachers, you know, like when there's motion in the classroom, chaos erupts. So with all sincerity, if you need to use the bathroom, you know where it is, but we're trying to minimize distractions. So that's why I'm bringing these things up. And we're going to roll right into our topic for tonight. So diabetes, what are we talking about? We're talking about the 7th leading cause of death. We're talking about 1 out of every $4 that is spent in the United States on health and sickness and treating disease is because of diabetes. 25% of all the money that's spent on healthcare problems is for diabetes. Did you know that? 237 billion spent on direct medical costs, another 90 billion with a B spent on indirect costs like lost work, productivity. So 325 billion or so spent just because of diabetes, something that's treatable, reversible, and curable, totally preventable with proper lifestyle. And not to mention the lifetime cost of what it is to bear the cost of diabetes, to be treating diabetes, hundreds of dollars every month, thousands of dollars every year, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars as the decades play out, which of course contributes to or causes in most families the number one cause of bankruptcy is health issues. Many of you are aware of that. Yes?
Did you say curable?
Curable. Type 2 diabetes, 100% reversible.
Okay.
You heard that correctly. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that tonight. So what's the cruel cost of ignoring diabetes? Well, starting with things like amputations, there's 80,000 non-traumatic limb removals every year, and 60% of those are from what? Diabetes. And then you have things that progress into vision loss, neuropathy, of course obesity goes with that. And then you look at the last three right there, what does it say? Heart disease, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. Heart disease is the second leading cause of death, the number one disease killer. Cancer is right behind that. Then you have Alzheimer's, which is the sixth leading cause of death. What do we say diabetes is? The seventh leading cause of death, but causes and contributes to all the other leading disease killers. Wow. Turn to your neighbor and say, wow. I'm still awake. That's a good sign. Stay tuned, because becoming a diabetic, what does that say? Doubles your risk of Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so if you become aware as of late that you're having trouble concentrating, remembering things, memory issues, dementia, I can tell you, bar none, I've seen more of that now than ever, without a doubt. And now what studies are showing is the pathway to this starts with high blood sugar levels. So what's the most important test to determine if you are or have a family member trending towards developing dementia or Alzheimer's? What test do you think is the easiest, most predictable, most reliable, most accurate way? A1C. Very good. So this is a revelation for most people. Some of you sitting here for the first time like, what do you mean, diabetes, Alzheimer's? Yes. And this is interesting because there's at least half of everybody in the room right now, if you go into any room, at least half of everyone there without any type of symptoms is pre-diabetic, on their way to becoming diabetic. And if you are, you're also on your way to becoming an Alzheimer's patient. And again, this is something that kind of creeps up on us insidiously, but I've seen some of your blood work. And, you know, I have a concern because it's way above that 5.7. And you're not taking any medication for diabetes. You don't want to take any medication for diabetes. And I don't blame you. I don't want to take the medication either. Medications, a lot of them have harmful side effects. But my message to you tonight is that if you don't jump on this at some point soon and start getting that A1C down under 5.7, 5.6, 5.5, you're taking a big chance. You're taking a big risk. And once you start having these symptoms, these signs of forgetfulness, dementia, memory loss, it's too late. The damage is done. So when's the best time to start working on this?
Now.
Right now. So Journal of Neurology, a medical journal, reported on this. They did a 6-year study. They looked at MRIs over a 6-year period of time to determine which lab tests correlated best with brain atrophy. Everybody say that? Brain atrophy. What does that mean? Brain shrinkage. When comparing the degree of brain tissue loss in those individuals with the lowest versus the highest A1C, the ones with the highest A1C had double the brain loss compared with the ones with the lower A1C. Okay, so hopefully this is something that is becoming more real. It's published in medical journals. This is not me just shooting from the hip, blowing smoke. This is real stuff, and this has been known for many, many years. So the question is, if your A1C is high, it's in the danger zone, and it's been there for a long time, again, when comes the urgency to really start to jump on this and reel it in before it's too late? So what do we do typically when the A1C is high, when the blood sugar is high, you've been diagnosed with diabetes, you go to the doctor, what's the strategy going to be conventionally? We're going to take what? Medication. So yeah, let's just treat that high blood sugar with medication. That's going to be the standard approach. But oftentimes we see that the treatment becomes worse than the disease itself. It's not just with diabetes. I could say that just about every disease. Study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association showed recently that for older patients with type 2 diabetes, medications to lower blood sugars may do more harm than good. There are side effects for these medications. A side effect that they don't correct the cause of diabetes. They don't correct the cause of diabetes. They're just treating the effects. So metformin was recalled last year because it had a carcinogen in it. You know, everybody knows what a carcinogen is, right? Cancer causing impurities. Same thing with some of the blood pressure medications that were recalled. Metformin also doubles your chances of dying from cardiovascular complications. And these are not things that the doctors will disclose flagrantly. They will basically just be focused on your condition at the time. Let's do what we need to do to get it under control. And I get that, and sometimes people don't have the resources to do otherwise. But would everybody agree that if it's not correcting the cause of the problem, that at some point we should do something else instead? Is everybody, that'd be fair to say? I mean, I'm guessing that's why many of you here tonight. You want to find out what to do instead. Insulin side effects. So insulin, if you didn't know, literally takes 8 to 10 years off of an individual's life expectancy. It shortens your life expectancy. Did you know that? So I'm going to show you a brief clip from a medical doctor who speaks out about insulin and the effects that it has on the hormonal system, particularly insulin. Okay, insulin is a hormone, and that's what's being controlled here. So let me play this video for you.
Hi, I'm Julia Whitaker, MD, with another Whitaker Wellness tip on diabetes type 2. I urge you to forward this to your friends and loved ones who have type 2 diabetes, especially those who are using insulin. Approximately 25% of the 28 million Americans with type 2 diabetes are told to take insulin. If they are obese or overweight, as most are, it's a clear sign that insulin injections are doing more harm than good. Insulin doesn't just escort glucose into the cells. It also signals fat storage and stops fat burning, a recipe for weight gain. Now, excess weight makes blood sugar control more difficult, and poor control increases insulin requirements. In other words, the more weight you gain, the more insulin you need, and the more insulin you take, the more weight you gain.
Everybody got that? Okay. So it's a vicious cycle, and so that's why insulin is not a great solution. It's not a great approach. One great approach would be just to lose weight, because if you can lose weight, you can regain your insulin sensitivity, and then you don't require insulin anymore. But the problem he was saying was with giving insulin, insulin's a hormone that causes fat storage. So the more insulin you give a person with diabetes, the more weight they're going to gain, and the more weight they gain, the more resistant they're going to be to insulin. Yeah. So there is a better way, and that's why you're here, but I wanted to share that with you. New England Journal of Medicine, another long-term study they found with 10,000 diabetics. They showed with the aggressive blood sugar-lowering medications actually cause deaths, and they found that lifestyle changes were even more effective than diabetes drugs such as metformin. When you implemented these, it was able to reduce the number of people dying from diabetes, reduce the risk with lower costs and fewer side effects. Again, this was a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, one of the most widely recognized prominent medical journals on the planet, well respected. So we've known this for a while. It is reversible and it's preventable. So how does it work? One of the fundamental places that we need to start with is how insulin and glucose work together. Now, we all know that to get the sugar into the cell, there requires a step-by-step process. You have insulin receptors that the insulin uses to take the sugar into the cell. If you look at the picture on the left, that's a normal cell. That blue part is the cell. You see those little antennas sticking off of those? You know what that is? Those are the insulin receptors. Now, sugar cannot get into the cell until the insulin brings it in contact with the insulin receptors. And it's like a lock and key fit, and all of a sudden, that's how the sugar gets shuttled into the cell. Now, under normal eating circumstances, I say normal because it's not. It may be uncommon, and but it's still normal. If you look at all the food down there under that normal cell, what do you see? Good, healthy foods that don't spike your sugar levels, like low sugar fruits, low sugar vegetables, nuts, meats, right? So proteins. When you have stuff like that, your blood sugar stays what? Even keel. It may go up a little bit, but it's enough for the insulin receptors to handle the glucose properly. But if you look at the picture on the right, what you'll see is that yellow arrow shows elevated glucose levels from having sugar, breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, snacks, high fructose corn syrup, juices. In the morning, you're having bread. Maybe you have croissants. Maybe you have toast. Maybe you have grits. Maybe you have oatmeal. So at glucose, insulin has to go up to get the sugar into the cell. So you have a provoked insulin response there for breakfast. For lunch, maybe you have a sub. Maybe you have, whatever carbohydrates that we have to have. That we don't maybe have the choices that we want. We're elevating glucose again, and then in the afternoon. Or for dinner, maybe we're having, pasta or rice or potatoes. And this is what we call the standard American diet. Everybody say that. Standard American diet. This is where we're having carbohydrates for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and drinks. All this sugar all day long, blasting those insulin receptors. And that's why they become resistant. It's like somebody screaming in your face, right, Michelle? If I stood here and I was at 100 decibels for 10 minutes, eventually you'd have to what? Plug your ears. And that's what's happening in a person that's running high blood sugar levels constantly all day long. The insulin receptors shut down. That's why they call it insulin resistance. They are resistant to the high blood sugar levels. It's too much for them. They shut down. Now, the part that's reversible is if you lower your glucose levels, right? If you start eating like this and you're not provoking the insulin response, there's no demand on the insulin receptors. And if there's no demand on the insulin receptors, guess what happens? Guess what happens? They come back to life. They're resurrected. They're born again. Does everybody get that? Okay, so you just got to give it a break. If you give it a break, you'll give them a chance to regenerate. And that's how we reverse type 2 diabetes. Now, it may not be easy, but it's possible. It may not be easy only from the standpoint that we have these habits. And we're conditioned to have sugar, like we got to have sugar. It's a drug. It is an absolute drug. And the pathways in the brain that register the initial hit when it hits your tongue is no different than a person that takes cocaine. It's there is a cascade of effects chemically that occurs that they've seen on an MRI when a person eats sugar. The same part of the brain lights up as somebody who does illegal drugs. I'm not kidding you. This has been known for a long time. Sugar is a drug, and you can actually reduce and transition. But first and foremost, it takes a discipline, it takes willpower, and it takes a vision. You got to set your goals and then go. But I wanted to share that with you so that you know the first step is to kill the what? Kill the what? Kill the carbs. Now, again, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but I'm just I want to point out the obvious. Breads, pasta, rice, potatoes. You even have some decent carbs there, like oatmeal, and maybe some lentils and some beans. And I can tell you the nutritional value for each one of those good, healthy grains. But for somebody who's got an A1C at 5.7 or up, none of that matters. Because when you're having those good grains, what is it doing? It's provoking a what? An insulin response. And it's not allowing the insulin receptors to rest, to regenerate. Number one. Number two, when insulin goes up, remember, insulin's a hormone. What did that doctor say insulin signals? Fat storage. So if you're sitting here wondering what to do to lose your fastest 10 or 15 pounds ever, this is it right here. This is it. Make sure you choose foods that will not provoke an insulin response. Even if you're conditioned to think that they're healthy, it doesn't matter. If you're trying to lower your glucose, lower your diabetes, lower your fat percentage, your body fat percentage, it's all the same thing. You have to start eating foods that do not provoke an insulin response. Are you with me? Okay. So,
Bananas also? Bananas?
yeah, so I was just going to mention that. Thank you. The bananas and the oranges, again, loaded with vitamins and antioxidants and all these good things. But also high in sugar. Now, can you get those vitamins and antioxidants in different foods? Yes, different fruits that are lower in sugar. And I'll show you what that is in just a minute. So that's why I wanted to put that up there. You guys know this stuff is the obvious, the fruit juices and even orange juice. It's like you get a tall glass of orange juice, right? 10 glasses. Did you ever freshly squeeze oranges into a glass of juice? You tell me, how many oranges do you have to squeeze into a glass to get 8 ounces like that? Has anybody here ever sat down and ate 10 oranges, one after the other? Has anybody ever done that? No. Yes? Ay, Dios mío. No bueno. So we know that normally we probably wouldn't feel too good after that. And again, too much of a good thing is not a good thing if it's high in what? In sugar. Yeah. So if you look at this chart here, it's just basically that red line that spikes there shows you what happens when you eat all the carbs, whether they're good carbs or simple sugars. There's an immediate spike in blood sugar. And you can see over the course of the hour how far up it goes, from 90 to 180. And then look what happens in the following 3 hours. It drops like a bomb, and it even goes below where it started. But what I want you to see about that is when that blood glucose goes up like that so high, what else has to go up to get the sugar into the cell? The insulin. And so once you've stimulated that hormone, no matter how long you went on that run, or how long you sat on that bike, or how many calories you burn, you have just turned your body from a fat burner into a fat storer, because you've changed the hormonal response. And that's what weight loss is all about. Did you know that? That's what weight loss is all about. It's not about counting calories. It's about making sure you have the hormonal response dialed in properly. And if you can get that, then you'll get the results that you're looking for. And that's why I have that up there, so you can see if you have foods, if you choose foods that provoke an insulin response, it doesn't matter what you think about the food, how healthy it is or unhealthy it is, or what you've heard on Dr. Oz or Dr. this or Dr. that. Everybody's an expert, right? The thing you want to know is, what kind of insulin response does it provoke? Because that's what's going to determine whether you burn fat or store fat, or whether you're disease-free or you take more medications. Is everybody with me so far? Yeah. And so you compare that to the green line below, and what does it lead to? It's all the low sugar fruits, vegetables, proteins, nuts, all those things that do not provoke an insulin response, that keep your blood sugar stable. And if it keeps your blood sugar stable, it keeps you in fat burning. Right? So how many of you guys want to be a lean, mean fat burning machine? Say aye. Aye. Yes, that's for me. So, it doesn't matter if it's, yes, Ruth.
It's okay to eat the whole egg or only
Yes.
the white?
Yes, the whole egg. The whole egg. Yes. Don't believe the old myth that the yolk has the cholesterol and that's what's going to drive your cholesterol. That's not how it works. The cholesterol in the food does not give you high cholesterol. And that's why the workshops are so important. We have a Heart Smart Nutrition workshop, and we go through all that stuff to allay all your fears of high cholesterol. And it doesn't cause heart disease, and it doesn't come from the foods. So, sorry about that. I didn't mean to open up a can of worms. But, just like people, farm animals, it works the same thing. The more grains, the more hormonal response, the more fat that gets stored in the animals, right? So when they take animals to market, they want more bang for the buck. That thing's got to tip the scales as much as possible. And if they just let the cows wander the field and eat grass, they're going to be lean, they're going to be healthy, but they're not going to be what? Fat. So if you look at the grain fed, what do they use to feed? The meat that tastes so good is, all the marbling is all the fat, and that's a tasty steak. I can't deny that. I won't deny that. In fact, I enjoy it. But the problem is that it's fed with corn and grain, and it changes the omega fat ratio. It drives inflammation, which is a whole nother part of this story. But just for purposes of illustration, so you guys see that it causes the farm animals to fatten up when they're grain fed. When they're grass fed, if you look at the difference on the right side, you see it's a lean cut. Can everybody see the difference in those ribeyes? Big difference. So it's the same for us. So give some practical examples. Is this a healthy breakfast? No. Is this a diabetes weight losing breakfast? No. What is going to sabotage you in that meal right there? The bread. You saw. Wait. That's whole wheat bread. That's healthy. What are you talking about? Yeah, no. No, but the bread, even if it's whole wheat, it's gonna provoke an insulin response. Yes. Yeah. What else? You got the grits, which comes from what? Corn. Very good. Now, what about the bacon and the eggs? They're good. Fat burning, definitely. You want to lose weight? Have at it. What about this one? Why? Oatmeal. Because it's a what? It's a grain, and then you got the bananas. Yep, that'll kick up the blood sugar a little bit too. But so the berries are good, very good. Yes. All right. So how about the Cheerios? On the box, it's got the big heart. It's good for your cholesterol. It's heart healthy. No, boo. So again, we got grains there. Nutri-Grain bars. Look how healthy that looks. And they got to be healthy for you. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Look at the label on those. Loaded with sugar, but also look at the ingredients. 50 ingredients, you could probably only pronounce like 5 of them. The rest are all chemicals, trans fats. So don't be fooled by the marketing. What about the Egg McMuffin? On your way to work, you're running late. Oh, I'm dying. I gotta stop through the drive-thru. Then you grab one of these. And what does it do? It starts your day fat storing. Why can't I lose weight? I'm not eating that much. Fat storing. You can eat very little, but if you're promoting that insulin response, you're programming your body to store the fat. It doesn't matter how little you eat, and you're slowing your metabolism down at the same time. Throw out the bread. Just eat the bacon and the ham and the egg, and that would be a little better. What about this?
The wrap.
It's made of what? Whole wheat. What about this? Rice and beans. Rice and beans. Now, for some of you guys, you're blessed with just some really good genes. Your A1C is at 5.2. Like my wife, she could eat this day and night, every day of the week. Rock steady, But not me. No, that doesn't work with my genes. No. I somehow missed out on that when they were handing out all the good carb-burning genes. I do not do well with that at all. And I love it. We went out, I was in Sebring with my son, Gavin, and we went to, he wanted to go for Mexican, so we had it. And, one day it's my cheat day, and I'm away from home, I did it, and sure enough, the next day I'm sitting there jiggling my fat. I'm like, man, I knew I shouldn't have done it. And that's what it does to me. Now, I know where my A1C is. It's at 5.5. So I just had a blood test just a couple of weeks ago. So I'm good with that. If I do a meal like that, it's once a week. But my question to you is, where is your A1C? Can you afford to do that once a week? If it's not in normal range, I would not do that until it is, right? I would not do that until it is. These are the important questions that you want to start asking yourself. Take some notes, write it down, because this is the difference between life and life more abundantly for some of you, or life and death for others. What about the yogurt? No, why? What's loaded? What's in the yogurt, Ingrid? Sugar. Yeah. Oh, how about the chicken and potatoes? What do we got there? Breaded. Very good. Breaded and of course the potatoes. Yeah. So all provoking an insulin response. You got your steak and potatoes. All provoking an insulin response. Stir fry with the what? Rice. provoking an insulin response. Fettuccine, provoking an insulin response. So I know I'm getting hungry too. I'm sorry. It's getting me hungry too. But you guys are getting the picture, okay? And for those of you who are serious and you're more in control of this, you're gonna make sure that you plot out your meals. Saturday or Sunday, you're gonna plot out your meals for the rest of the week, and you're gonna make sure that you don't sabotage in any of these meals that you have any of this stuff. Yes.
Doctor, I'm sorry, but I was in the impression that black beans were sort of protein.
Yeah, when you combine the rice and the beans with the rice and the beans together, you get a complete protein, yes. But it still provokes an insulin response. So, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, both of them. Yeah. Yes, they will. Now they do affect different people differently. But if you're, again, this is for those of you who really want to see results, just avoid it. Just eliminate the guesswork. I'll take one more question. Yeah.
So, did she ask the difference between white and brown rice?
The difference between white and brown rice? I would, the color. Other than the color, the brown rice may take a little longer to digest, which may have a different insulin sensitivity to it. However, in the end, it's still something that a type 2 diabetic patient or somebody with elevated A1C wants to avoid until all that's gotten under control. And that's what this is about. You know, it's not about extremes. It's not like don't ever do this ever again for the rest of your life. Everybody's different. There are shades of gray with this, but if you're trying to lose 10 or 15 pounds, if you're trying to get your blood sugar down, your A1C down, I'm telling you to draw the line and eliminate this stuff for at least a good number of weeks until you get the next test. And then maybe you'll have a cheat day once a week, twice a week, and that's how it works. And once you get a good firm handle on what to do and what not to do, then life becomes a little bit easier. This is just the beginning. So maybe you didn't know this, but how many remember the food pyramid that we learned in school? Remember the food pyramid? Yeah, we learned that probably in elementary school, many of us. Or where did this come from? Like, why did they have to insert this into our psyche where 60% of everything that we eat every day should be carbohydrates? Breads, rice, cereal, right? Crackers, all of these things, which now what you've learned tonight does what? Causes obesity, diabetes, all the epidemics that we're seeing right now, heart disease, Alzheimer's, all of it. You know, you could literally point your finger and be like, oh my gosh, this is either contributing to it significantly or actually causing it in many cases. So they started this in 1997. By 10 years later, the number of diabetes cases had actually doubled when the USDA recommended this. So why would they actually do that?
Money.
What? Money, yeah. Agriculture. To help support the farmers and agriculture, and yeah, because when you get enough lobbyists, they'll pass whatever laws and bills are necessary. And it doesn't matter if it's to the detriment of our population, because we have good drugs for everybody. And so that's why they call it the Food and Drug Administration. They're in bed together. They got you. They own you from cradle to grave. You're born into a medicine chest, from cradle to grave. That's kind of how it works. But now we're starting to learn better. All right. So, have you been mentally percolated to some degree? A little bit.
Yeah.
All right. I want to just take a brief moment, just to take a mental break, just because this is kind of what we do. And normally we'll recognize different people for different things. You guys can come on up. But we don't have a whole lot tonight. Tonight we just want to recognize one special person. And okay, then we're gonna hit somebody in the head with some T-shirts. Anyway, by the way, I wanted to recognize how wonderful our staff is. Everybody, give them a big round of applause. Aren't they awesome? You guys always raving on them. I love it. All right. So anyway, this wonderful patient we have by the name of Rosa, and she's been with us for a good number of months. She's gotten some great results, and she's continued to learn, continued to grow, never misses an appointment. She's gotten other awards, but tonight we want to recognize her for something incredible. And you know what that is? 6 or more adjustments. 6 or more workshops. 6 or more workshops. So this is University Core 4 degree. Yes, you've completed your certification. Good job. Awesome. We are so proud of you. Constant and never-ending improvement. But school's never out. School's never out. We keep learning and keep growing. But we appreciate you. We love and appreciate you. All right, so we're going to have everybody stand up. And as I always say, the mind can only absorb what the seat can endure. Right? All right, so we're going to turn to face to the person on your right. And put your hands on their shoulders. We're going to turn the other way. Yeah. Put your hands on their shoulders. We're going to squeeze. Get all the stress out.
You do your adjustment while you're there?
Do an adjustment right now. All right, now you're going to do karate chop. Good. That's how we love our neighbor. Now you're going to turn around and love your other neighbor. Good. Good. Get that stress out. Awesome. You're still awake, right? Karate chop. Wake up your neighbor. Very nice. All right, give yourself a round of applause. Good, good. All right, so we got a little bit more. So I showed you the problem, and now we're going to give you the solution. So we're going to transition from, oh, by the way, I forgot to do this. I'm so focused on giving a good, everybody, heads up, catch, coming, whoa, oh, there we go, good, okay. So we have to transition from the wrong food pyramid to the what? To the right one. So if you look at this one on the right, what you will notice at the base of the food pyramid, what you should be having 60% of everything that you have every day is what? Low carb veggies, low carb meats, low carb oils, everything is low carb there, but it's rich in nutrients and super rich in energy. The fats will give you all the energy that you need, long-lasting energy. Lots of extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil. You have the fats in the meats, whether it's lean meats or regular meats. As long as they're grass-fed, you're in good shape. You're on the right track with that. And then you have like all of these cruciferous veggies, the cauliflower, the broccoli, kale, you have asparagus, green beans, and all those other greens and all the veggies, they have carbohydrates in them also. You're not going to die if you don't have the bread or the pasta with it or the rice or the potatoes. Your life will continue, and actually you will get healthier. I can guarantee you that. Try it and you'll see. And then further up in the pyramid, which would constitute a smaller percentage of your daily intake, would be, again, grass-fed dairy. For those of you who can handle dairy, some people are allergic to dairy, so it's not for everybody. For some of you guys who don't have an allergy to dairy, that's a good source of protein also, and fat. And then you got your eggs, and then you got your so we have some other vegetables there, and low sugar fruits, your berries, nuts. Yeah, so make sure you got lots of, yeah, you have organic chocolate or cacao, yeah. Yeah. So you know how chocolate is healthy, right? It doesn't taste good. The healthy chocolate does not taste good. There's no sugar in it at all. 90% sugar-free. You'll throw it out. But that's the one you should have. But make sure you have a good amount of these nuts in there also. You know, you have the almonds, macadamia nuts, cashews, all of these good nuts are a great source of energy, and they are fat burning. Just like the olive oil, just like the coconut oil, all fat burning. What's on top? Goji berries, yeah, I think they are. Yep. And so we have breakfast. So breakfast alternative, instead of something that's going to get you in trouble, this is easy. It's time saving, it's money saving, and it's also full of vitamins and nutrients. And that's the Ultraplex shake. 2 scoops of that will give you 26 grams of protein. It's low in sugar, it's high in antioxidants, every vitamin that you need for your daily allowance, and it's a low level detox that it gives you every single day. Now I have that. That is my breakfast every morning, right there, that picture that I took in my kitchen. With the berries, there you have your low sugar berries, your blueberries, your blackberries, your raspberries, strawberries. Now, you don't want to have a gigantic bowl of that, all right? So, you know, a relatively moderate serving, and then you'll have a tablespoon of almond butter or peanut butter, as long as it's organic. Almond butter is better, and raw. Okay, so if it's dry roasted or salted, that's not ideal, okay? But that's what is best to have with these berries. And then to mix the shake, you can just mix it in water. 2 scoops in water, mix this up nice and easy. You can put some almond milk, you can put some coconut milk, you can mix it with that also. You can do half almond milk, half water. There's a number of different ways you can do it. Yes?
Why is almond better than peanuts?
Why is almond better than peanut? Well, yes, peanuts definitely come with mold, fungus. There's different type of allergens that are with peanuts and peanut butter. Not as healthy as almond butter. And when you buy organic, it's the more healthy of the unhealthy. But the almonds are the better choice.
And they don't
And
have
almond
any of
butter.
that almond
They do. Yeah, they have organic peanut butter, organic almond butter.
No,
Yeah.
what I mean is almonds don't have any of the fungus, whatever you're talking about.
If you get the raw organic, then more than likely it's going to be from a good source.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
You put the berries in your shake?
No, I don't put the berries in my shake. Now you can make a smoothie. You could dump it all in a blender, but I don't. Yeah, Jim, you do it. Yeah.
I
was
don't.
just gonna say that also the peanuts are growing in the ground, they pick up everything, especially, insecticides and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's why it's better. The almond butter is the better choice. Take one more question. Yes.
No more oatmeal in the morning.
I am going to recommend that you steer clear of the oatmeal until you reach your health goals, and then you can add a little bit back in.
I used to have it every morning.
Fair enough? Fair enough. All right, so here's another example of a non-insulin provoking breakfast. What do you see? You see eggs with what in it? Vegetables. You got peppers and onions. Okay, so you've got that, and you can cook it with coconut oil. You can cook it in butter, but just make sure you cook it on low heat. You don't want to burn any of those oils, then you can turn them rancid. They have avocado oil. That's another good oil you can use. How about for lunch? What do we have for lunch? Lunch choices. Ideally, the salads are the best. You can have a Mediterranean salad, a Greek salad, a Caesar salad, and you have a little piece of protein on there. So you have your protein, you can have salmon, you can have chicken, you can even have steak on it. It doesn't matter, but what do you not see in there? You don't see carbs. Does anybody see croutons? No. I specifically got something without croutons in there. All right? Because again, no, let's get real. Let's get real. There's many of us in here who try so hard and they don't see the scale move. And nothing's changing. And what I want you to look for are these little things. Like if you're like, oh, it's not going to make a difference, and you have the croutons, or you're eating somewhat in this fashion, and then you choose a snack that's off the menu, and you're provoking an insulin response. You're taking yourself out of fat burning, and you're putting yourself in fat storing. Even if you're eating good meals, these little things will they'll make a difference. They'll change your hormonal response and not allow your body to get into fat burning. This is what keeps your body, gets it in fat burning from the start, from the get-go, in the beginning of the day, and keeps you in fat burning. So it all works together. If you just do one little thing, it'll halt your progress. Extra virgin olive oil, this is the fuel for fat burning. It's the easiest thing. If you get a good source of olive oil, keep it on your table. You know, when I was training with my trainer who was helping me through the marathon this was many, many years ago, almost 20 years ago. He had me take a little thing of olive oil wherever I went. Anytime if I had a salad or someplace where I was out for dinner or lunch, I had to take my olive oil with me because I had to have oil in every meal. Because that's what enabled my body to keep the inflammation down, to keep all my joints functioning properly, and to keep me in fat burning. It was the healthiest thing that I ever did, and I don't carry olive oil with me now, but I do keep a vat on my table, and every day for lunch and for dinner, I am drizzling olive oil all over my salads and all over my dinners, especially for, okay, so how much? You don't need a tablespoon or a measuring spoon to know how much. Here's how much. You turn it over, and is when your vegetables start to rise because of the displacement, then you'll know you've got enough. No, I'm exaggerating, but you don't need to measure it because too much good fat will not make you fat, and it will not raise your cholesterol. So you don't need to worry about how much. It's really just a matter of personal preference. Just make sure that you soak your vegetables in it, and then you can put some pink salt on there and really wake it up. So make sure that you have lots of that extra virgin olive oil, and even for your dinners, like you got lamb there, you got a rack of lamb, but what do you not see there? Bread. You don't have your potatoes, like in the other picture. You have your vegetables. You've got your fat in the meat, and you're going to have your fat on the vegetables, which will be butter or extra virgin olive oil. And guess what that fat does? It takes the place of the potatoes, which give you the feeling that you're full, but it's really expansion. You walk away from the table and you feel bloated. Like sometimes if you have a lot of it, it'll feel like somebody punched you in the gut. But the fats give you that same feeling of fullness without the pain and without the fat storage. It gives you what's called satiety value, which means you feel full, you feel satiated. That's what good fats do, and they keep you in fat burning. So what else do we see? We see chicken, chicken breast, and some more vegetables. Again, use that olive oil or butter generously. And make sure that we're using the Kerrygold or the organic butter. And what I see the questions, I see the hands popping up, but I want to answer everybody's question. But for purposes of finishing on time tonight, I'm going to ask that you write them down, and at the end of the program, we'll do a Q&A. I'll have you come up and I'll answer all your questions. Okay, so just write them down. Whatever you're thinking about right now, write them down so you don't forget.
What's the last picture that you have there?
Last picture is just a chicken and vegetables, and then that's just lamb. Yeah, that's lamb or meat as an example. And then the one to the far right is what? It's a stir fry. You have shrimp. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. In the end, it doesn't matter what your protein source is. If you want to lose weight, you want to change up that protein source every day, really every meal. It's ideal to not have the same protein source back to back like that. It's good to change it up. So seafood and all your vegetables, again, cook it in extra virgin olive oil or butter, cook it in low heat, and you're good to go. You are in fat burning. So if there's anybody here who's not tried this shake, I would encourage you to try it at least once. We call this the breakfast of champions because you start off in fat burning, it keeps your blood sugar level, it keeps you full, and it's the healthiest way to start your day. Not to mention that, again, you have your detox component in there, you have your antioxidants, you have your anti-inflammatory, you have all your vitamins, got a good source of protein, it's easy, you save time, you save money, and you're getting your metabolism started off on the right foot. You're not crashing your metabolism first thing in the morning. So that's important as far as making application. Now, I've had some people over the years tell me that they just did this. All they did was substitute their breakfast meal with this. And over the course of about a month, 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, all of a sudden they look at the scale and they're down 10, 15, 20 pounds. I've heard that quite a few times. So if you're consistent with this, it will work for you in your benefit, not just with your blood sugar, but with your weight as well. So people are always asking me what supplements are really the best, which have the best research behind it, supplements that are proven to have an important, significant effect on your blood sugar, controlling it, reducing it. And so we've put together this supplement suite. There's 3 of them. They're in your handout, and they're synergistic, which means they have an amplified effect when they work together. You get the best outcome when you take these all together. Ultraplex Glucose helps with your glucose metabolism, and it also supports insulin sensitivity. Berberine, research has shown it's as effective as the drug metformin in correcting elevated glucose. And it's also good for your immune system as well. And then the third one we hear is ALA. We have alpha lipoic acid, which it helps to support whole body glucose utilization, every cell, and it just helps really on a cellular level of keeping all cells healthy and well. So all three of these, normally when we do the blood sugar workshop, these are taken for those people who need significant and immediate help with getting their blood sugar under control, especially those of you who want to reduce and get off the medications. Now, I am not going to tell you to stop taking your diabetes meds, but I will tell you this. It will start with doing proactive things with getting your blood sugar under control. Because when you keep taking your blood sugar every day, you're taking supplements like this, you're starting to eat better, and your blood sugar goes down, you cannot still continue to take the same dosage of medication when you start seeing those results. And that's when you need to go back to the doctor, and that happens sooner or later, and then they reduce those requirements because common sense would dictate so. Is that making sense? Yeah. But you have to take action, and I would recommend this if that's your case. It's 15% off the supplements tonight only. There's limited supplies, I know that. And the 15% off also applies to the Ultraplex Complete Clean. How many of you guys have written a review for us? I know a couple of you guys. Ruth and Rosa, those are yours up there. And I'm putting that up so that you can see that there's people who read reviews. They're looking for chiropractors, and there's many people out there, just like you guys, who know that not every chiropractor does the same thing. And even fewer chiropractors have a specialty in wellness and nutrition, and even fewer of them do workshops like these, right? So are you learning something important tonight?
Yeah.
Would you agree that what you're learning tonight is life-saving? Yeah, and there are people out there that need that, and they're looking for it, and if they read a review as kind as what you guys have written up there, and many of you have also written these over the years, I would ask, if you haven't, please write us a review. Write us a 5-star review, and we'll give you a gift certificate for 25% off. We always do that as a reward. We really appreciate it. We covet that. It's so important to us. It's all about reaching as many people in the community as we possibly can, and your words can make a difference. So please do that. If you can, take a snapshot, show them up front. If you don't do it today, you can do it the next time you come in, show them, and that's something we'll do for you. Is exercise important for your blood sugar?
Yeah.
Does it help?
Yeah.
How much does it help?
A lot.
That's what I thought. I know it's good. It's good to go for a brisk walk after you have a big meal. Now, in a couple of weeks, we're gonna have Thanksgiving. You're gonna push away from the table. You'll barely be able to walk, but you know it's a good idea because you gotta get that food down. But it's interesting what research shows, that exercise alone doesn't really do a whole lot for your blood sugar. So they looked at 107 obese individuals 65 and older over a 1-year period of time. And they had 3 groups of people. Those who dieted, those who just lost weight, right? And then there was another group that dieted and exercised while they lost weight. And then there was another group that just engaged in physical exercise and did nothing else. They just exercised. So here's what they found. After 1 year, the insulin sensitivity improved by 70% who just lost weight only. They did not diet and they did not exercise. All they did was lose weight. Remember, that goes back to the video clip you saw with what the medical doctor said, right? When you can just reduce the insulin receptors, when you can reduce the insulin sensitivity, yeah, you just lose weight, you're improving insulin sensitivity. So that makes total sense. 70% of them, just by losing weight, they improved insulin sensitivity by 70%. The ones who lost weight while on an exercise and diet plan had an 86% improvement. But the third group, who engaged in physical exercise without dieting and without losing weight, had what? No change. Yeah. So there you have it. Exercise alone won't do a whole lot for your insulin sensitivity. And that's really important. Again, if you don't want to struggle with getting your blood sugar or your A1C under control, what is the key here? It's what? Weight loss. Yeah. So that's what has the greatest impact on insulin sensitivity. So listen to this.
My name is William Hogan. I started the program on December 9th, and by January 19th, I had lost 43 pounds. I'm 1 point from being taken off of insulin, and I've dropped my blood pressure medication from 40 milligrams to 10 milligrams. And hopefully within the next 2 weeks, I'll be completely off of blood pressure medication.
That's amazing. Thank you.
So Officer Hogan went through this program that we have. Some of you guys have been through it. I'm just I want to make sure that everybody's aware of what's available to eliminate the guesswork. This isn't for everybody, but for some of us in the room, you're tired of losing weight and then gaining it back, or just not being able to make any progress, and you really need somebody to hold your hand and monitor you through this and lead you through this to success. And that's what this program is designed to do. It's designed to take you through a process that's going to get you results at the end of it. There's a food plan that we have that absolutely turns your body into a fat-burning machine. It literally causes your body to incinerate its own fat. Not muscle, not water. It turns your body into a fat-burning machine, and it uses that as energy to incinerate it. So the manual that you're following every single day shows you what to eat, when to eat it, what not to eat, and it also gives you a journal so that you know exactly how much you're eating and that you're keeping track of what you're doing. And then when you come in and you do your weigh-ins with Deborah, she can go through that with you. And if all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed and you're following this thing to a T, you're following the food plan and you're taking the supplements, the fat-burning supplements that go along with it, at the end of that, you will lose at least 15 pounds, a minimum of 15 pounds. And if you don't, because that's the guarantee, if you don't, we'll put you through a second program at our expense. But like you saw Officer Hogan, he lost 40 pounds. Men will usually lose 20, 25, 30 pounds. Women will go 15, 20 pounds. Men usually lose a little bit more. It just depends on who you are and how much weight you need to lose and how well you follow this program. But that's what this is designed to do. It's a support system that we work with you for a period of 40 days. Now, when you lose weight, what's the most important thing as far as a weight loss program? What's the most important thing in terms of what you're going to lose? Do you want to just lose weight, or do you want to lose fat? Do you want to lose muscle?
No.
Do you want to lose water?
Yeah.
Do you want your metabolism to slow down? No. Well, let me ask you this. If you were just to start dieting and you just stood on your scale every day and you saw that scale go down 10 pounds, how would you know if you lost fat or you lost muscle? How would you know if your metabolism got slower or you raised it? How would you know? You can't. You don't know unless you have a body composition analysis. There's a special scale that you stand on that puts a low-level electrical impulse through your body. And the scale has a computer software system that it communicates with, and it can decipher exactly what your body composition is, as far as what your body fat percentage is, what your water percentage is, what your muscle mass is, where your metabolism. So from that initial weigh-in, when you start doing this program and your body starts burning fat, the next time you get a weigh-in and you get a printout like that, what should you see coming down? If you lose 10 pounds in a week, what should the biggest percentage of that be that you lose? Fat. And what do you want to see going up the other way? Muscle and water. At least maintaining muscle, but your water weight should be going up. And what's the other thing that should be coming down? Your metabolic age. For many of you, you stand on that scale, that metabolic age is showing you you're 90, even though you may be 60. What does that mean? You're in trouble. You got the metabolism of a 90-year-old. Now, you could dump 10 or 20 pounds all on your own, but when you do that and you're dumping water and muscle, your metabolism is slowing down. And then when you start dieting again with a slower metabolism, woo-wee, or you start eating again, you start packing it on, not just all the weight that you lost, even more. So again, it all comes down to the hormones. And when you stand on this scale, it helps us decipher exactly where you're at so that we can track it. Kind of like, when we are tracking your progress evaluations, for those of you who are under chiropractic care, we don't guess, we test. We do progress evaluations so that we can evidence the outcome. Just looking at a scale and seeing the number of pounds goes down, that doesn't tell us a whole lot. But if you want to lose fat, raise your metabolism, and be guaranteed success, there's a program that'll help you do that. So, one last one.
Hi, my name is Linda Tomlinson. I've been a patient of Dr. Yachter for probably about 3 years now. I initially came to him for chiropractic needs, and I went to a workshop and they were talking about a weight loss program. I normally don't try weight loss programs, but everyone I've tried thus far never worked. But I decided to try it anyway. And I tell you, it was the best decision I made for far as my health. I don't have to take the diabetic medication anymore. I lost the weight I wanted to lose, and I have kept it off for a couple of years now. Deborah is very knowledgeable. She will walk you through it.
Yes.
It's one of those things where it's a matter of life, you know, because we want to be able to keep the weight off and eat healthy, and you know, live longer, basically. So I just want you guys. I'm going to suggest that you guys try it because it really worked. I've sent 4 people that I know there that have went through the program, the weight loss program, and they look wonderful. So just let you know, I'm suggesting it. I put my life on it, and I did, and I got the best results. So you guys should try it. Just want to let you know, I'm grateful.
Wonderful lady. She was very, very sincere in that, and just really outgoing as far as sharing her results. Wonderful, wonderful lady. She did great. You know, the best part of all this about being healthy is what? You have more energy, you think more clearly, you sleep better, your whole quality of life improves. And of course, that's our wish and our prayer for everybody. But there are some of you here that you know you need it. And if it's something that we can help you with, please see Deborah before you leave tonight. The offer is, now normally for the body composition analysis, it's $99. You stand on the scale, we do the printout, review your goals. If you're a candidate, she'll tell you more about how the program works. But for tonight, only the event special is only $27. There's a Black Friday special that's going on if you're a candidate for the program. If you are going to enroll in the program, Deborah will tell you more about that, but you could save a good bunch of money as long as you register to do the program before Thanksgiving. So, and then the last thing I want to share with you is something different, and then we're going to close up. This is just something that happened to me. Now, sometimes you can eat good and you can exercise and you can take meds to control your blood sugar, but sometimes there are other things that affect your blood sugar. And one of the last places that people suspect can cause a blood sugar issue would be from the spine and from the nervous system. And I want to share this with you because this is a real story. This actually happened to me years ago. I was in practice. I just first started practice, and the lady from the hair salon in our shopping plaza, she sent somebody in, and she was a lady probably in her late 60s, and she walked in and she was like this, and I could hardly see her face. And I said, "My gosh, what happened? Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I just started a couple of days ago. I can't stand up straight. My back is killing me. Can you help me?" I said, "I don't know, but let's go ahead and do an exam." So I did an exam. On the x-ray, I took an x-ray. I see the bones in their middle part of her back are just tilted, twisted, turned, just wrenched out of alignment, really bad. And it was easy enough to see it on the x-ray to where I knew that it was causing her back to hurt. So I said, "Georgia, come with me. I want you to lay on the table here, and I want to see if I can get some of the pressure off the nerve." So she laid down, and very, very gently I started trying to unlock the joints, just get some kind of movement in there, and all of a sudden I feel the bones moving under my hand. I'm like, "Whoa, I didn't expect that. Thank goodness." And I was relieved. And then she gets up off the table, and she's not standing like this. She stands straight up like this. So when she stood up, I was amazed. She wasn't. She's like, "Are you done? Is that it?" I said, "Well, yeah, but hold on a second. I see you have an insulin pump on your belt. How long have you been diabetic?" "I've been diabetic for 40 years. "Okay, diabetic for 40 years, insulin pump." She's like, "Are you done? I got to get going." I said, "Okay, well, just come back tomorrow, the day after at the latest. I want to check up on you and see how well you held the adjustment." She's like, "Okay." So she leaves. About an hour later, somebody comes running in off the street, screaming at the top of their lungs, "Call an ambulance. One of your patients has passed out in her car." So I ran out there, and she slumped over the steering wheel. And her foot was on the brake, and the transmission is in reverse. And she's passed out, and by the grace of God, I don't know how she didn't roll back and hit the car behind her. So I put it in park, I ran inside, I called the ambulance, I hung up the phone, and then all of a sudden it occurs to me, she's diabetic. Maybe it has something to do with her blood sugar. So I got some orange juice, ran outside, started dabbing her lips. And what happened? Her eyes start rolling from the back of her head. She starts regaining consciousness. And as soon as that started happening, the ambulance pulled up. I backed up, let them do their thing, and they drive her off. So the devil had a field day with me as I walked back into my office thinking to myself, I thought I helped her, but apparently I put this lady in the hospital. What did I do wrong? I don't understand what I did wrong. I couldn't sleep hardly that night. So I came in the office the next day, try to find out what I did wrong. I was studying the x-rays. And to make a long story short, started getting really busy. I had to start taking care of patients. I was adjusting. It was one of our busiest mornings. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see the front door open. Guess who it is? It's Georgia. She opens the door. She's smiling ear to ear. She's glowing. Big smile on her face. And, like, I'm with people. She doesn't care. She walks right over to me into the room. As soon as she has a clear shot at me, she comes over and gives me a big hug. What are you doing? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. She's like, I've never felt better. I haven't slept this good and felt this good in 40 years. Can I have another adjustment? So I said, you didn't have an appointment today, did you? She's like, no, but that's why I'm here. I want to get another adjustment. I said, okay. So as soon as I was done, I took her in the back in the x-ray room, and I showed her the bone that was out of alignment that was putting pressure on the nerve, causing her back to hurt. I said, Georgia, I thought I did something wrong, but I think I did something right. If you look at that chart on the right side there, you can see in the middle part of the back, the nerves, how they feed off to the stomach and to the pancreas. And I said, that was the area of your spine that was just out of alignment. That was the area that was affected. And I think it was interrupting communication from your brain controlling the pancreas and the stomach properly. And I said, because what happened was when I opened up that nerve channel, when I moved that bone back in place, I opened up the nerve channel, it removed the interference from the brain to your digestive organs and to your pancreas. And your pancreas, I think, started regaining function and started making insulin. But your pump was still on. So you got too much. And I think that's why you passed out. She said, that makes sense. Now, you going to adjust me or what? So apparently, it was a good concept, but in the end, all she really cared about was how good she felt. And I kept adjusting her, and about 4 weeks later, we did our progress evaluation, and lo and behold, she's got no back pain, but she told me her endocrinologist had already started reducing her insulin requirements. She didn't change her diet. She didn't exercise. She didn't change any of her medications, but her endocrinologist reduced her insulin requirements from 8 units down to 5. Now, she continued with her chiropractic care. She was a stout believer, wholeheartedly. It literally changed her life. Black and white, day and night. So she kept coming in, and the next time we did a progress evaluation, her insulin requirements were down to 3 units. And then by month 5, she was down to 0.8 units. She went from 8 units to 0.8 units. Nothing more than chiropractic care, adjusting her spine. That's all I did. Her endocrinologist told her at the University of Miami she's eligible for a special study. And he would like to know what my clinical protocol is for curing diabetes using chiropractic care. To which, of course, I had to remind her that I'm not treating your diabetes. I do not treat disease. I locate and correct the cause, the source and the root of interference from what's stopping your brain from controlling and coordinating normal function and healing everywhere in your body. And it wouldn't matter if it's in the mid-back or the neck or the lower back. If you look at this chart on the left here, if you're not a patient in the office, there's not a health condition known to mankind that we've never heard of that doesn't have a place where it can originate in the spine. Whether it's headaches, high blood pressure, tiredness, sinus trouble, allergies, thyroid problems, shoulder conditions, numbness in your hands, asthma, cough, difficulty breathing, digestive issues, cramps, menstrual cramps, bladder problems, constipation, you name it. All of that can easily be traced back to the spine as a causative factor if the spine is out of alignment there. If the spine is not out of alignment and that person has those issues, there's nothing for me to do. There's other issues. But if there's subluxation, what's that? Subluxation. What is that? A vertebrae out of its normal position interfering with the nervous system, disabling the brain's ability to communicate with the organs. Now, in her case, it was the pancreas. But what if that same area was the heart? What if it was going to the lungs? What if it was going to your prostate? How would you know? Like she had an accident 40 years earlier. That's what caused her spine to shift out of alignment and interfere with the nerves going to her pancreas. Do you know what happened after that car accident? She started having digestive issues. Her blood sugar required insulin, started requiring medication shortly after that. Now, if she would have had her spine checked and corrected, I guarantee you she wouldn't have presented to my office in the shape that she did all those years later. So I can tell you, chiropractic is not a cure for sickness and disease. What it does is it removes the interference to allow the body to heal itself and, more importantly, maintain its highest level of function. And so, how do you know if you have subluxation? Well, certainly that lady who came in, she had back pain. But by that time, her problem had been in her spine for how long? Decades. Is that the best way to take care of your spine? Like, you wouldn't go to a dentist only when your teeth hurt, would you? No? So this is your nervous system that you're talking about. The thing that controls and determines the function of every organ and every cell in your body. At what percentage does everybody in this room want that working? 100%. How many of you want to be at 100% of your God-given potential? All of us. Well, the question is, how do you know if that's happening or not? You can hope, wish, guess, pray. That's one strategy. But there's another way to know for certain. How do you evaluate the nervous system besides just pain? Again, when pain is the last thing, it's the last stage. How do you find it years before and be preventative? We start with a thermal scan. And I've had lots of people come in and get a thermal scan like that on the left. No pain, I feel fine. My neck doesn't hurt, my back doesn't hurt. Red off the charts. What does that tell us? There's a problem. So, option A is to say, okay, I feel good, not a problem, it's not interfering with me now, and wait until it gets bad enough. Option B is what? Take a closer look, right? Take a closer look, because if that's showing us there's a problem, then you want to look at that on an x-ray to see, to objectively determine and definitively diagnose if the bone is out of its normal position, literally shutting off vital nerve supply, causing disease. Right then and there, in that moment, disease is developing, you just don't what? Feel it. How many of you guys have heard of people who get cancer, they feel fine? They have no clue there's cancer in their body. I'm telling you that the only cure for cancer is prevention. All the other stuff just buys you time. If those are the nerves going to your prostate, and you can remove the interference and prevent prostate cancer years before it develops, what is that worth? If they're the nerves going to your breast or your colon or your pancreas, and those nerves are what's talking to the cells to determine whether they become cancerous or they're normal functioning. When is the time to make sure those communication lines are open? What is it worth to prevent disease rather than waiting to treat it? That's the most valuable part that chiropractic care has to offer a person. Did you get that? I know a lot of you came because your back or your neck hurts, and that's fine. I love each and every one of you just the same. Everyone's here for a different reason. You know what? After doing this for almost 30 years, I know it's not just the pain. There are emotional and spiritual parts of this which drive it. And I know that's true for everybody. When a person is not at peace with themselves, when they are under stress, it will manifest disease and pain and suffering like nothing else. And I can take care of you physically, but every single person needs to find their answer spiritually. And the answer can be found in the Word of God. That's where your peace comes from. You can do all these other things, and it may help, but there's only one truth. Only one truth. And I'm going to share that with you, and I'm going to say it boldly, loudly, and clearly because that's just who I am. And that's where my love for you comes from, that truth. And like I said, I'll take care of you on that physical level, but you need to hear the truth. And what you do with that is up to you. But it starts with the examination. The consultation, the exam, the thermal scan, the x-rays. Reading the x-rays with me, normally that's $300-400 worth of service. If you're here tonight and you're not under my care and you haven't had your spine checked recently, you can take advantage of this. You get a health pass, it's a certificate for only $97. You have all that done and get a proactive evaluation of what your health looks like from a neurological level and get some real answers and strategies in terms of what you can do to prevent sickness and disease. How does that sound? Okay, so if you're a guest here, on behalf of the loving individual who brought you in tonight, just see Deborah or Nikisha or Tamara at the front desk. They'll get you the health pass. It's valid for 2 weeks, so you can make your appointment. It's all inclusive. It includes everything that we need to get you checked out and see where you're at. If you need the supplements, the supplement suite, the body composition analysis, they can handle all that for you as well. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I love and appreciate you guys. God bless.